So Josh Maley, last year's Amateur Mr. Universe Class 1 winner, this year's Pro Universe Pro runner-up. Yeah, been first competed in 2010. It's been a pretty crazy journey since, and a pretty successful one so far too. Yeah, so I mean the whole Mr. Universe thing first came onto the scene for me in 2015, where I did it for the first time. I came third. I did 2016, it came second, and then last year was the culmination of kind of the win and getting the Class 1 win. And then since then it's just been approaching this year and trying to get that a little bit better, that a little bit bigger. I think we did it. I'm stubborn, and I don't follow any sort of set pattern. So for me, like, I come from a swimming background, so my volume has always been insanely high. And then since it's kind of stopping, I still keep a high level of volume, but increasing kind of the intensity and the weights that we get done. So everything really within each session. I don't do just heavy weight. I don't do just like kind of a lot of volume. I tend to start heavy and then put a lot more isolation and volume work towards the end of the sessions. Obviously my legs are a standout kind of body part for me, so I only hit them once a week, and I try and hit everything else twice a week. So yeah. So I'm 6'6", and I think a lot of tall guys, they put a cap on what they can achieve. They think that because they're tall, it's an excuse that they can't kind of make certain progress. Whereas for me, I've always just been a bit stubborn and just kind of not really listened to that. But when you're on stage, we're tall, we've got to make the most of it. So it's just making sure that you stand proud and stand big. And yeah, you might not be comparatively the biggest guy on stage, but you can do your very best to be the most imposing and at least get everyone's attention. So that's always a good thing. If the judges are looking at you, it's a win. So yeah, the off season was fantastic. Like, I felt, the big thing for me was I felt really healthy this year. Like, I got kind of as heavy as I normally do. I normally take it up to about 330 pounds, 150 kilos. But I held reasonable condition there. I got really strong. I was injury free. Like I said, I felt good. I felt healthy at that weight. Had a couple of issues going into prep with a kind of shoulder injury, a little bit of a back tweak, but by that point the kind of muscle had been added, so I was just kind of working around that through prep, which isn't ideal but also isn't the worst time to do it. So yeah, a lot of heavy weight, a lot of food eaten, and a lot of fun had. Well, I just started growing it, and then two things kind of made me stick to it. One, a few people started saying, "Oh, you look like a Viking," and everything there, and I kind of went from there. And then I used to be sponsored by BSN the same time Flex Lewis was, and I remember him at Body Power. We were backstage, and he said to me, he was like, "Man, that's a thing you got going for you." Like, he said, play on that, like, build a brand around that." And I'm not like a business guy and everything, but I thought, you know, he's got a point. Like, why? Who do you know who looks kind of like me at my height with my size? I thought, I'm going to run with this. If Flex Lewis says I can do it, I can do it, you know what I mean? But yeah, and yeah, it helps that I like the look, but it's certainly been just part of the persona, I suppose. Like, I'm quite a reserved guy, but certainly on stage, having that kind of theme thing helps me just get into character a bit more and attack it, and like I say, really pose hard and be imposing and try and dominate a little bit more. I mean, it was good. Like, I knew the challenge was going to be that we were going to be on late, and obviously the later you're on and the bigger that you are as a guy, the harder it is to manage that kind of combination of dryness and fullness and everything. But fortunately, 2 weeks ago, I had a very similar schedule at the PCA Worlds in a very similar venue, just in the Repertory Theatre next door. So I was able to kind of run through what I thought was the best plan. And then the couple of little bits that I picked up on that I wanted to tweak, I did, and it made yesterday a lot kind of easier to manage because I knew what to expect. But like, once I got to the venue to watch some of the class 2 Max O'Connor, but yeah, and the show itself was ran really well. Once we got backstage, there was that real buzz. There were pros that I recognised. Obviously the Korean who beat me last year in the overall, and you know, that was good for me because like, he's someone who is just a freak in the nicest possible way, genetically beautiful. And I knew when I was backstage that I was going to push him harder than ever this year, and that was really cool. So that felt great. And we had a good little battle on stage. I know a lot of people said to me they thought I had it, but it's always friends who tell you that. It's never the real. But the judges, I know, had it close, and that's a real win for me. And I had no expectations really about where I could place, so to get in there and get in the top 2 was awesome. We will be once to have a photo shoot with this one tomorrow. You got a photo shoot with him, that'll be fun. And then it will be through till Christmas, a kind of period of relaxing to an extent and kind of feeling good and feeling healthy, coming out of the back of prep, and then hitting an off season in the beginning of January. And I'm going to sit down and just look at the show schedule for next year. But again, I like competing around the kind of September, October, November time. So if all goes well, I'll hopefully get a few more shows together and go from there. So I'm excited already. Yeah, well, so I mean, all being well, as far as I'm aware, we're 12th of November today, and hopefully in the next week or 2, that will be launched. It's going to be a members website. That's going to have exclusive content from myself, Donna Murphy, Ben Chow, Luke Sandow, and Samson. I can never pronounce his second name, but you know who he is. Big black guy, fucking awesome physique. So obviously Luke's got the Arnolds coming up, so it's going to have all his prep and all his run through. Ben's prepping again. Donna's got a show in 2 weeks. They filmed me on the day of the PCA World, so we've got a little bit of backlog content. We've got my last leg session, and it's just going to be an opportunity for us to show a lot more of what actually goes into things. Instagram, you get the pictures, you get the clips here and there, but we're talking, actual detailed content, forum stuff where you guys or anyone not there can actually ask us questions. There's a guy, I'm sure many people will know, Dave Crossland, who's a performance enhanced kind of drug specialist. So there's going to be a serious kind of section on that, answering there. We're going to get guys coming in doing kind of articles, like specialist articles here and there. And I mean, as you can tell, I'm properly excited for it because it's I suppose almost like a magazine that we can take online and become more interactive with it as well. So it's going to be really, really kind of cool to be a part of. And for me, like I like my Instagram, I do stuff on there, but I think this will give a much more of an insight into the personality side of things. So yeah, we're looking forward to that a lot. Stay tuned.
We've got an intruder in the background. Could you boys give us a little flip?
Oh, I'm so hungover.
I got that, mate. So, could you explain this little this duo? Who's the one that's like the little devil on the shoulder?
He's the fucking devil.
He doesn't do fuck all.
I'm boring.
Yeah.
I keep him
grounded
on prep. And then we won't be friends for the next 6 months because he'll start drinking again.
Who trains like more of a beast?
Mate, that's not even a question.
Well, he trains for a start. Oh mate, yeah, no. We when we're on prep, we're best mates. Aren't we?
Yeah. We're best mates anyway, but we just have less to talk about.
We have when we're off prep.
I try talking about bodybuilding, and he's not
I
interested.
try and get you out on the beers, and you try and get me in the gym, and it don't work.
So it's a half-year relationship.
Yeah, but when we prep well together.
Yeah.
I haven't had a prep coach this year. I've just bounced ideas off him and asked him for advice, and doesn't he feel weird that I'm sat on his knee? Oh, so sore. My glutes from squeezing him yesterday.
That's a good ending there.
Yeah, that'll do.
That'll do.